And then hopefully, if my NVIDIA Shadowplay decides to work, hopefully we can get her going. You ready, Nick?
Yeah.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Blind Rage Podcast with your hosts, Mike and Nick. And today, we're just covering some things from last week as well as some new information this week, which is really exciting to address here. First thing, we're going to be talking about some Vanguard, as well as we're going to be talking about something special that Nick ended up getting, and he is really, he can't contain himself. He's really excited for it. So, as always, guys, you know how we like to start it. Let's crack straight into it.
But yeah, guys, like Mike said, we're gonna go ahead and crack straight into it. That is one of the most satisfying things on planet Earth. And I freaking heard Jeb say that the other day. Because he does that a lot of times at the start of his videos, where he'll crack open something that he said, whether it's a G Fuel or whatever, just that auditory sound, man, it is amazing. You love to hear it. But yeah, like Mike said, everybody, we're gonna be talking some Vanguard, but I have to tell you guys, I freaking got me a PC. Finally, I have joined the dark side. I know, PC master race all the way. And I'll say this, we're gonna go into it in more detail here in a little bit, but just know, guys, for those of you that watch me, expect some Black Ops 2 Plutonium, maybe some Black Ops 3 Custom Zombies might be coming your way. We're not going to be playing too much on the PC. It's mainly going to be used for streaming. All we're going to really be playing is, like I said, really just BO2 Plutonium and some BO3 Zombies, Custom Zombies. But like I said, we'll be talking about that more later on in the podcast. But Let's talk about a little bit of Vanguard, Mike.
What part do you want to discuss? Because there's a lot of parts, and all of it is trash. So,
yeah, it's a little bit rough. Let's just say that, chat. We are trying desperately. We're in this moment of, okay, we want to play the game because me and Mike both want to be successful in the competitive scene. Obvious.
That is facts.
So it's hard for us to we don't want to hate the game. We really want the game to be good and successful. But at the same time, there's only so much you can take, right? Like, eventually enough is enough, and it's like, when the game is so bad and you feel like it's a chore getting on, like, that's how I feel right now getting camos. Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll be a little bit different for me grinding competitive, but I mean, Mike and all the people I know that's been grinding competitive, they're pretty much not enjoying the game either. Pros are quitting, leaving. And so I guess we'll start with the competitive side. I mean, we've kind of complained and, basically it's like beating a dead horse at this point, but we have to keep complaining and bitching until we are heard. And it's insane that, over a decade, we had certain things that were in place that we don't have now, which is mind-blowing to me, how we somehow managed to go backwards. You would think with the league getting franchised and everything like that, I mean, I feel like we've had more problems since it went from CWO to CDO.
That's facts.
Obviously, not all of that is on the CDL side of it. A lot, you can't help that Sledgehammer's incompetent, and it feels like their children are developing the game, and they've taken 2 vacations in less than 2 months. So there's that. But what is it, Mike? 4 maps? Is that how many maps we have in Hardpoint and S&D? 4. Was it 4 HP and 3 S&D? I know.
Wait,
we got
let me Berlin, Tucson, Bocage, Gavutu, and then supposedly, now mind you, this is a supposedly, and this is even pros saying supposedly. Get this right. Supposedly, we're supposed to be scrimming Desert Siege too, which that map is 3/4 dog shit. But supposedly we're scrimming it. Teams or boycotting that map. Some teams are scrimming it. Some teams just play it to get it over with and don't really care if you win or lose in that map. It's a headache. You know, as far as respawn, there's really only 2 or 3 okay maps for respawn.
I mean, because Gavutu's horrible. Bokage is just a non-stop headbutt.
You'll get my opinions on this in a second. So, okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, but let's address it first, because you said Gavutu is bad. No, Gavutu isn't bad. It is dog shit. When I tell you it is one of the worst maps in CDL history, not the worst, because there are a few that are way worse, but, okay. Yeah. First of all, the hill is really, it's awkward places for the hill. Not only that, there's contest spots on every map that shouldn't exist. Like, you don't have to be on the hill, and you can contest or you can soak time, right? But on Gavutu, there's multiple spots that should be G8'd. And mind you, I'm not a person that believes in GAing spots, because I think that's just awkward and weird. When I tell you there are spots on Gavutu that need to be G8'd, they need to be G8'd. As well as the fact that, you know, you could go for a whole 3 hills in a row and still be spawning in the same spot, even though you're actively trying to flip. But the game just says no and puts you in a spawn trap. Even if the team you're
squad spawns.
Yeah, even if you're scrimming a really bad team, you could lose to the Gavutu because you just get put in a random spawn trap. It's just the luck of the draw. And, you know, whenever I talk about, you know, G8 spots, like, okay, top guns on boat, or like I guess it's top guns or T3 on boat, right? Now, normally for S&D, I don't think that's a bad... I think that's a spot that if this game played S&D competitive on that map, I think that should be valid. But the fact for Hardpoint, you can see basically all but one hill from that spot, and you can just be a turret. You can be an Octane, but an actual Octane. You know, an actual human turret, and just sit there with an AR. I think that's really, like, cheesy. You know, there needs to be a lot of contest spots that are G8'd. Like, okay, you know, bring in your topic to Bokage, right? Bokage, everybody that I talk to AMs, I talk to, like, you know, I talk to people that grind wages in this game. Everybody says that Bokage is a really fun respawn map, but it's not a skillful map. I think we discussed this in the last podcast, but like we said, we had some technical difficulties, so we're not going to reiterate all that. But, you know, everybody likes playing the map. The map is fun to play. It's not skillful, no. Because, you know, it's fun to run around and get 60, 70 kills, you know. That's fun. That's a good warm-up map, you know. If you want to scrim and, like, you have a mash after, that's a good map to scrim on just because it's a good warm-up map. But it's all luck of the draw. It's not really, like, it's basically who gets more kills at the end of the day, and that's not what competitive COD's about.
Yeah. Or, like, who pops the 3-piece last hill.
And like, here's the thing.
Seconds left or whatever.
I would like to discuss that as well, because I've watched it happen myself. I have watched AMs and even pros play the game. And the problem with Bokage, right, on other maps, you can cut down every lane, you can cut down all the crosses, and if you're a good team, you don't have to worry about someone slipping through. But it doesn't matter if you're the best team in the game. On Bokage, there's so many angles and cuts people can hit and so many routes. You can't cover everything. And I've spoken with, you know, AMs, top AMs, just about this in like an actual conversation. And they straight up say the only way that you're cutting off lanes is if you get a clean 4 down and then you start picking shit up. You can't just hold it and expect nobody to slip through. You literally
almost never get a clean 4 down on Bokage.
No, it's always choppy. But if you do get a clean 4 down, then that's, like, you know, normally it's the opposite. You know, normally you hold lanes, and then once you get a 4 down, that's when you start stacking hill. But it's the exact opposite. You just want to keep nonstop headbutting hill until you get a 4 down, and then you can pick up these lanes. And although that sounds like, you know, it kind of contradicts itself, that's really how Bokage plays. And, you know, if you're a good Bokage team, cool, but that doesn't mean you're a good team. Like, yeah, you could be a really good team at that. I'm not going to take that away from you. But that's not one of the it's a different skill set than the other respawn maps. And although the other respawn maps suck ass, they're not they actually take somewhat of skill. Unlike Bokage, they take a different type of skill, and it's basically just who has the better gunny and the better moving can get the most kills.
Yeah. And I mean, even carry it over to the other HP map, Tucson, like, which
Tucson's
in my opinion,
good in my opinion.
Tucson's probably like one of the better maps we have, if not the best map that plays like competitive wise. And you know, think about it, like you got like a P3 or a P5 on that. Like, both of those are pretty hard to defend, like, or to you know, to break those if you get a good setup on that. Like, it's hard. and then you get like, especially the spawns on that. Like, if you
They're
get stuck
very
in a spawn
awkward.
trap on that map, like
There's nothing.
it's tough,
Yeah,
bro.
because one of the teams that I've talked to, like like I said, I've played with a lot of AMs. I'm kind of like I would consider myself close with them. Like they're really cool, and they literally vetoed Tucson because in their league match, one of the teams they were playing against, they were notorious for nonstop spawn trapping on Tucson, and that they literally would win just because of that spawn trap. And I would say, oh, that's cool, like that's kind of skillful if the spawns weren't so awkward, because there's okay, bring it back to Bokage, right? Or Bokage. It's not 4 spawns, right? In other maps there's like 4, maybe 5 spawns. You spawn like one person, you can spawn in each corner, something like that, right? No, on Bokage, if you're back grandma's side, P3, there's 6 different spots you can spawn all the way in the back. You could get split spawns, so you could spawn halfway into trench, you could spawn in trench, you can spawn back 10. There's so many spots on each side.
I think it's like 6 primary spawns in the back, and then there's 4 secondaries.
Like there's like split spawns too.
Up each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's like your secondary spawns.
And like, okay, I would say, yeah, spawn trapping, that takes a skill to a extent, because if you see it in Cold War, like it did happen, and teams were skillful even though they were doing that. But where it comes in here, it's all a coin flip. If you keep getting spawned in the same area, even though you actively are trying to flip, just like like I said, Gavutsu, you can't do anything about that. Like, it's all a coin flip. And then, on the blockage, there's so many spots where you can spawn trap, because like the most common on blockage, right? Every time I see a scrim and the people are actively spawn trapping, it's always back P3, all the way in that back lane, all the way in the back. People can they can milk like between a 60 and 120 points off of that just by spawn trapping there. And it's not always a guaranteed 60 hit points, but that's so much time that adds up. It's like if you lose to that type of method of playstyle, you don't feel like it was just. You feel like you got cheesed out of so many points. And especially if it's a 249 and 250 game, or like within 10 points, you feel like you got cheesed, and it's because these maps are so bad, And like I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was just gonna I'm gonna make a point here in a second. Go ahead.
All right. And like I've said before, I kind of stopped playing the game. Like, I do enjoy playing the game in a team. Like, if I'm playing a team and I'm scrimming every day, I enjoy that. That is very fun to me. I enjoy getting better. But I don't have the motivation to, because I wake up, I'm a free agent, I'm 16, you can't do much there. You can't play in cups, you can't play in pro points, you can't do any of that, right? And, so that I lose my motivation there, and then it's like, okay, I watch people play it, and then I go and play even like games that aren't that great. Like, okay, I like BO4, and I know you don't mind it for competitive, but it's not the best COD. I like it, but it's not the best. But even then, I go watch BO4, and even though there are things I don't like about it, and I play it, and there are things I don't like, I watch that and play that, and I go back to Vanguard, and I'm like, I don't want to come back to this. This is ass,
Yeah.
And like
it's just missing way too many important things.
And the things that it does have
are staples.
Yeah, the things that it does have are just unstable. And like I've even talked to you about this. Like, we can bring this up a little bit later as well. But whenever you do get your PC and you start playing Plutonium, I'm scared you might not go back to Vanguard, because it's like the polar opposites. BO2 is one of the best CODs, and then Vanguard's one of the worst.
Best COD, and in my opinion, the worst COD.
Yeah, so it's like it's a no-brainer.
It's gonna be hard for me to want to go to play Black Ops 2, especially BO2 Plutonium, where I don't have to deal with hackers, because that's been the main thing keeping me away from it for all this time. Is like, if I was gonna go back and play it, it was gonna be on Xbox, and it was gonna be
spin butters, theater mods,
So like, then I was, always back then I was like, all right, well, if I'm gonna go back, it'll be like maybe to play some zombies, or maybe it'll be to like trick shot or something like in custom games, but it won't be to go back and like seriously play it. But now that I'll be able to like play against other people, I don't even give a damn about the high ping lobbies, honestly. As long as I'm not getting aimbotted or, wall hacked or whatever, like it'll be a freaking breath of fresh air to be playing the best COD in
the worst
freaking franchise history, and I'm going from the worst COD to the best, and that's gonna be a great feeling. But having to come back and grind more camos for Atomic is gonna be an absolute pain, because right now I have like 17 out of like 39 weapons. So I got like 22 weapons to go to get gold to still unlock the atomic camo. Mike's been watching me put in the grind on the rocket launchers here recently. That's been an absolute pain.
Yeah, then not tracking
Um,
like okay. Sorry to cut you off once again. We talked a little bit about the competitive, which we can go back and talk a little more about the competitive, but let's talk about just pubs themselves. How none of the challenges track, there's things in the game that shouldn't be in the game. Like
you still can't get atomic.
It's impossible. And the game has been out for what, 2.5, 3 months now? And you still can't get the mastery camo?
2 months, bro. It's crazy.
Things don't track properly, or if they do, they don't track, if they do track at all, they don't track properly. Or, like in Nick's case with the rocket launchers, he'll destroy, one streak, and it'll count as the camos where you have to destroy 3 in one game, but yet he'll destroy, 3 or 6 in one game, and it won't count towards the 3 in one game. But it'll count 3 of the regular streak kills on the regular camo. It doesn't make any sense. And this game does not have an algorithm to it of what it does and does not track. It's just like everything else in this game. It's literally a coin flip.
Yeah, I was even telling Mike, I'm over here trying to figure out, I'm trying to do the developer's job for them and try to figure out the pattern, and I'm trying to establish a pattern of what causes it not to count and what causes it to track and all this. And I was thinking I noticed if I would die it wouldn't track, so I was thinking maybe that was it. But then one time I died and it still tracked, so I was like, well, that's not it. I don't know what the hell's wrong with their game. And then I seen that they had changed the Panzerfaust to long shots. I was like, okay, that's one challenge I'll be able to go ahead and get done, so I was gonna go ahead and do that. Well, then I did it. I got 15 or 20, and none of them counted. And I was mind blown. I thought, oh, what the hell? It's still glitched. Well, it is still glitched, but it is possible to get. It just has to be, you have to get long shot, direct impact kills. So, Jeff did his in Warzone, and I'm sure, it's probably easier to do in Warzone, but I'm eventually going to do it. But I'm hoping they just get around to fixing it before I get there. I'm gonna still have to do the M1 bazooka after I do the M1 what is it called? The Panzerstrike, that thing. So after I do the Panzerstrike, that's gonna be a pain. Trying to get these finished up, and then I still gotta do shotguns, light machine guns. I got one shotgun done.
Isn't the STG still bugged, or did they fix that?
They thankfully they fixed the STG, but it was still bugged for some people for the multi kills and stuff
it took months for them to fix that too. That's the sad part.
Yeah, and then all they did was fix the first 2 camo challenges, and a lot of people had other camo challenges glitched out, and Jev was one of those people, and just couldn't do it. So the fact that you can't even get the master camo when if you look at other games, the mastery camo in those games was unlocked within a few days.
Literally, the max you would take is 2 weeks. Dustin isn't even an avid camo grinder, but he got dark matter on BO4 in 2 weeks, and that's saying something. And it's not just because the camo challenges were a little bit easier, don't get me wrong, they were. But on those games, ever since MW, ever since
tracked properly.
Yeah, ever since MW, they stopped tracking properly. Ever since COD went to crossplay, in my opinion, everything just stopped tracking properly. I think that's when it happened. Literally, once they enabled crossplay is when it happened.
I don't know if it's the new engine or what it is, bro. But if it feels like ever since we switched to this new engine, everything's more beautiful and pretty and whatever, but I think there's been a million more bugs. Everything, when they put out a patch to fix things, they completely break other things. Today, me and Mike wanted to go play Modern Warfare multiplayer.
Yep.
Oh, physically impossible in 3 different countries because, you're over here oh, I'm gonna go play. Nope. It tells you have to download one of the packs, but you have them all downloaded and installed and everything, but it says no every time. And it's still broken. They won't fix it. Vanguard completely, and they have sacrificed multiplayer for Warzone. And now
Warzone's
Warzone
garbage.
still aren't happy. You know, Warzone's completely, you know, not doing great. It's, you know, a lot of people are unhappy. The meta's completely destroyed. You know, there's a lot of problems there as well. So, you know, Warzone's a whole nother freaking topic in itself that is completely just buggy and chalked. And, you know, I told you guys last time about my initial experience on that, and it was an absolute pain. That was a damn nightmare trying to get on. And just we still don't have a freaking FOV slider for console. We don't even,
Inconsistent
dude.
frames.
I'm on a PS5 and I don't get 120 frames. Like, what the hell is that? Like, literally, what is the point in even having a PS5? Like, what if my only thing that I grind, like, what if I was a Warzone streamer? Like, think about that for a second. Like, how much I would have been screwed over. Because, like, if you're a Warzone streamer and you play on PS5, you're having a horrible time right now.
The only thing
I
you
couldn't
can play is
imagine
Rebirth.
playing-
That's it. Like, you can't play Caldera because it literally will just crash your system, regardless of what you have.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely sad. I mean, you got that, you know, so it's like, even once I get Atomic Camo, I mean, my initial plan was to play Caldera. I mean, I think it looks fun. I
It
like
looks
the
fun,
actual
yeah.
layout of the map and everything. I think the map layout is a better map layout than Verdansk. And at the very least, it's a breath of fresh air. It's something new. We had Verdansk for like forever.
That's
So
2 years.
yeah, so you know, it was time for something new. Obviously, like, I knew it was really rough when they switched from Modern Warfare to Cold War as well, but they just need to get it right, man. It's been way too long. Like, people are already leaving, people have been leaving, and they're gonna wait until it's too late, just like they did with World War II back in 2017.
They revamped it when everybody left.
You know, they completely revamped the game and made it way better, but people didn't even want to go back and give it a chance, because it's like, dude, you can, you know, people are gonna only freaking keep hope and keep holding on for so damn long. They're not gonna wait on you forever. Like, you can't, you know, COD has only such a short, you know, lifespan, and that freaking, the lifespan of that COD is, you know, 6 months pretty much max, and nowadays COD life cycles are like 3 months. And really, in that first month, if you don't freaking set the tone and you don't come out with updates and you don't come out with a finished product,
Most of your community's leaving off rip.
which they, yeah, I mean, they haven't came out with a finished product and I don't even know how long. So, you know, I'm gonna say maybe BO3 was their last like finished product. In my opinion, maybe BO4, but I don't even think BO4 was completely finished in its current state that it came out in.
Yeah, it took till the end of the
like,
season for it to actually be really good.
Yeah, it just feels like none of these games are ever play tested. They're never optimized properly for, you know.
It's like you're playing a beta the entire year, and then when the actual game comes out after you played it for a year.
Yeah, like, once, you know, because it's like, oh, they made the whole game and then they decided which maps they wanted to take out and call quote unquote DLC, and you know, all that. So they make the full game and then they take half of it away from us. You know, it used to be they made a full game and then they actually spent the year making new content to give to add on top of it. Now they spend the time making a full game, take some away from us,
And then call it
slowly
DLC
give
content.
it back.
Yeah.
They slowly give it back to us as quote unquote DLC.
It's like
They're
re-gifting.
Look, we love you guys. It's like, no, this is shit we should have had since day one. And then it's like, oh, we still can't inspect our weapon, like little shit like that.
They didn't add that until like literally. They didn't add that until till like halfway through Warzone of the second year.
I literally can't inspect my weapon in Vanguard.
You couldn't do it in MW either. It literally took, like I said, until like the second year of Warzone for them to even add that. And like obviously, like it does take a little bit of coding because you have to like code the sides of the guns and how it appears in that inspect animation. But it doesn't take you a year and a half to do that. That's something super little that should be done within like maybe a week max.
Well, and it's like I don't remember. I'm not gonna quote the guy's name because I don't remember who said it, but I'm gonna steal this guy's freaking opinion on this because it's 100% factual, dude. He said, you sit here and say like, okay, you want to put out as many microtransactions as possible. You love putting out weapon blueprints and shit like that. Okay, that's fine. You know, it's whatever. You want to make money off
But
of us?
don't
Well,
make the game
think smart.
$60.
Think smart. Use your head. Okay, what makes it freaking so much better when you're looking at your gun? Okay, what our only thing you can do is sit here and shoot, maybe reload a little bit. Okay, would we like to inspect our gun? Yes, we would love to do that. All right, so if you want us to buy a weapon variant or a weapon blueprint or whatever the hell, let us buy it and then inspect our weapons so we can actually admire what the hell y'all made, even though 95% of the time it's 3/4 dog shit.
That's like,
But the point is that I'm trying to make is, if you're gonna put in all these microtransactions, don't leave out important features like the inspect, because that isn't just something that we care about. That's also something that can help you make sales, and not just make sales, but help you, because it's gonna help you get people like me to grind the game for atomic camo and stuff like that, because I'll be more inclined to grind for a camo if I can inspect my gun and see how beautiful it is. The only way I can look at atomic camo is in the menus, which doesn't do it justice, and then in game it looks completely different than it does in the menu.
yeah.
And you can only see it by shooting and reloading. So little things like that. It's like, that's been a thing for quite a while now. There's no reason it shouldn't have been there at launch. Ranked play should have been there at launch.
Yeah, we discussed that a little bit as well in the last video, which, like, we can go back into it a little bit, but yeah, I 100% agree with you. They said it was going to be at launch, and then it wasn't, which, I held my breath because of it, but I was, like, hoping, I'm like, yeah, ranked play's coming out day one, I'm about to grind wagers and ranked play, and then no ranked play, and then wagers were bugged, and everything was bugged, so it's like, what's the point anymore? I just give up.
And you would think, like, obviously, when I say things like this, obviously I know everything is easier said than done, but they literally could copy and paste the ranked play from World War II 2017 and just, bam, throw it into this game, and it would instantly be god tier. Yeah, they could tweak it a little bit, but at this point, I don't even want them to change it, because they'll probably completely fuck it up and destroy it, and
That's facts.
it'll be even worse. That's why I literally, people, when they ask me, do you want BO2 remastered, my answer has literally been no. Only because I know they will destroy my favorite game. I am not looking at that game through rose-colored glasses. I know it had problems, but that game back then was way better without microtransactions, without all the bullshit. I mean, honestly, the way they did it back then, $2 for a DLC camo, god tier. $15 for a DLC, pack, god tier. That's how it should have been. That's how it honestly should have stayed. I get people say oh, you need to go this way of doing the whole seasons and all this. No, dude, COD should have stayed doing their whole thing where they did DLC 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, they say it splits up the community, whatever. Even if they wanted to not sell it as individual DLCs, give us the maps for free, but still do it in that same format that you did, because it was god tier. It provided hype around the game. Like, you could guarantee that people are going to come back during the new DLC. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what they do with these seasons, but no one gives the first fuck about anything that's going on in this season. Nobody cares about the battle pass. Nobody cares about the freaking new stuff that's in the shop or in the store, or none of that shit. The only people that actually do care about that shit are just YouTubers who are making freaking content off of it and shit like that. It's not people who genuinely care and want the stuff. And YouTubers would not be buying it if they knew damn good and well they couldn't use it as a tax write-off and then turn around and make that money back in the same video. Yeah. So, people who genuinely actually want shit like that, yeah, it's, I get, people are gonna want things like that, but that shouldn't come before, like, good maps. Like, I guarantee I would literally bet my entire life savings that they came out with microtransactions and everything else before they were making maps, before they gave a shit
100%.
about core movement, before they care about anything else. They were thinking about how they could milk us dry and get as much freaking money as they can, because that's all they do is they look at us and they see dollar signs and they see Call of Duty as a cash cow, and they're gonna keep milking it dry until everyone leaves for either Halo or
Which
just
most
goes
COD pros have already
to
done.
something. Yeah, and frankly, I don't blame them. It's actually made for competitive, and the developers actually give a shit about it. And
It actually works too. It's an elo system. Funny how that works.
Yeah.
We've had BO4 and we've had Cold War, which didn't have an elo system, and look how shit that like Cold War and like BO4 were fun, but the ranked system was stupid as fuck. And then look, literally like the first go around of Halo, they have an elo system. Wow, it actually fucking works and actually shows your skill level to a decent extent. Like,
and it's free to play.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, and guess what? They're not retarded like the CDL, and they allow their whole teams to actually play together and actually hold tournaments for money right after the game comes out. Because yeah, it's not, it's for a few $1,000, but it's not like a major championship is on the line. No, pro points. None of that's on the line. It's literally just a few thousand, so they can see where the teams stand, and we get to get some content.
Yeah.
Instead over here on Call of Duty, we gotta wait months because for some reason they think it'll ruin something. No, it'll help the storylines build.
Yeah, it'll tell the game creators too what's wrong. Like if the pro, like normally they don't give a fuck about the pros, but the pros have a high popularity to the point where they're gonna get publicity, and whatever is wrong, the pros are gonna like bitch about it unless they're under contract, which then they can't say shit or they'll get taxed, which is stupid as fuck, And like at least some things might get changed. If you wait till 8 months into the game where you have the last couple months and it's comp, nothing's gonna get changed. Like look at Cold War. Look how long it took for shit to get fixed in that just because of comp.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like. You look at Halo, they've already had multiple tournaments. It builds so much hype and traction and just gets everybody talking. Just gets Halo in everybody's mouth. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody in Call of Duty, there's Gears of War, Apex, all these people are coming over, switching back to Halo. Because Halo is now the new thing. Because not only is it free to play, not only did they start off with competitive first and actually really give a shit about it and make it, really good. And they took their time to give a shit about it. They actually, they took 6 years to come out with another game because they wanted to do it right. They didn't do what Call of Duty does and just half-ass it and throw something out there. Like, I mean, for me, it's like I could literally stream every single day. But some days, Mike will tell you guys, I wake up feeling like shit, and I might be, snapping, I might be an asshole, I might not be feeling great, and I don't want to put that vibe out on stream. I'm not trying to, stream that to you guys, and I feel like, I want to come out here, and I want to be upbeat, I want to be energetic, I want to have a positive vibe, I want to be able to put that, and rub that off on you guys, and hopefully that'll make y'all have a great day, and, contribute something to y'all's life. Instead, if I come out here and I'm on, a negative Nancy, and
that's like you, completely pissed your personality. Off, like that's what people think of your personality is like, even though it's not.
Yeah, I mean, so like I might, have days where I'm pissed off or whatever, and I'm gonna be streaming a hell of a lot more here soon. Don't you guys worry, especially with that PC getting here. So that's gonna be amazing. But I'll tell you guys this, like, for me, it's not like that I don't ever want to go live, because I always want to go live. It's just I feel like I don't want to come out here and just be, down in the dumps, be, negative, or be just feeling like shit and be an asshole to somebody or whatever. I want to bring you guys the good vibes and, have a good time out here and just always chill with you guys. And it's a great time coming out here and everything like that. So, I'll say this. It's not just when it comes to, COD, or when it comes to anything. I just need to stream no matter what I'm playing, whether it's Grand Theft Auto, even if I'm playing
it's
that,
all content.
I need to stream it, just to be out here, just to be, vibing with the chat. The Nick Nation is amazing, and, the more I stream, the more I can get out there. And I'm really thinking about getting everybody that I know to you know, because there's a few people, especially like my baby Abby, need to get her to download Twitch, and need to get, you know, my parents an account on Twitch, get them to follow me. You know, your boy's desperate out here. Get everybody to hook
Plus,
me up.
it'll
You
like
know.
Twitch. Like, although Twitch is still kind of fucked because it's a double-edged sword, because the more exposure you have, the more exposure you're gonna get, and the less you have, the less you're gonna get. But that being said, it still helps you, because if you have, let's say, 4 or 5 viewers, you're gonna be above the guy that has 2 or 3, and you know, like, it's gonna suck starting from rock bottom. But YouTube, the algorithms, once again, are a coin flip. They're 100% random. You know, it doesn't really matter. You could have you could have 1 million subscribers, and it doesn't matter because it'll send the notifications to 10 of them. You know, and
Well, I think the thing is like Twitch rewards you for being a grinder. Like
mm-hmm.
if you're streaming a lot and putting in the hours, like they reward you for that. They actually like will put you up there and like, you know, will give you a little bit of exposure and stuff. But as far as on YouTube, like you could stream all day every day. If you don't have that sub count, or if people just don't know to be there, they're not gonna be there. It's not,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
they're
like
not gonna put you out there. Like YouTube doesn't give a shit. They're like, oh, this guy with 1,030 subs, yeah, like I don't give a damn. Like he's live again, like who gives a shit? Like, so you know, it's, and I don't want anybody to think like, oh, you know, the YouTube's going anywhere, because I definitely am gonna keep posting to that channel. I just need to get back into the whole video making process and get back into that whole, you know, shebang. Um, Obviously, I don't know fully. You know, I still got to discuss a lot of details with Mike about like how it's gonna work, like behind the scenes with PC. You know, with
yeah,
me being on the
I'll set that up
PC.
and help you with that,
You
100%.
know, we got a lot of behind the scenes to do between all that. You know, of course, because Mike's gonna be helping me set everything up, and I don't know if you guys can even tell on here, but we got a little bit of a different setup going. I'm like rearranging the setup, and you know, after we get everything set up the way I want it, I'm gonna you know, basically do like another room tour and go through and show you guys everything, and show you guys the new PC, and show you guys, because now I got like my face cam is over here, so it's like a lot closer up to me. It's like 3 feet away instead of like 5. So you know, I definitely think, I don't know, I think you guys will enjoy it more. I personally kind of like it. I don't know. My mom, it's like my mom told me, you're always moving your stuff around. And it's like, I don't know, I kind of just like the change. I like to mix it up, keep things fresh, stuff like that. And, you know, plus I felt like it was time to change things. You know, I got a PC coming. I wanted to rearrange it, make it, you know, fit in properly. And I felt like everything was great the way I had it. But now that I have a PC coming in, I think it would be better to have it set up the way I have it now. Obviously, I got to keep, you know, just testing different things out, trying it. I kind of like the way that I have this monitor, like, angled at the corner. That way I can, like, I can actually slide up under it even easier now, which, for those of you that don't know, like when I go to like slide up under something like this, this muscle right here in my back, absolutely, like I have a pinched nerve there, and it absolutely will kill me if I'm not like, because I'll spend way too much time leaning forward like this instead of like actually being leaned back in my chair and relaxing my back. So I need to like lean back in my chair and then like slide up under it and then have like the screen here. So that actually like benefits me a lot. Maybe you know, I haven't really played on it yet, so I can't really, you know, maybe it'll help. Is that's the thought process, at least, chat. So just letting you guys know like kind of where we're at and giving you guys like a little sneak peek behind the scenes. But we will be going in depth and giving you guys a video on that, like showing you guys everything once I get the PC. And I mean, you guys will probably get to see like where the the face cam is set up, and like, you guys will see how it's different.
I have a couple
Because
ideas to
I'm
help
gonna
you
be streaming.
set it up for your PC. But like your face cam, I have a couple. Like seeing your room now, I have a couple ideas on how to make your face cam look really good. But I'll discuss that with you off stream.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we gotta, you know, it's gonna be a whole lot, chat. But basically, I don't think I've said this yet. It's supposed to be here on the 5th, so we still got a few days in between then and now. So I still have, that's why I have my laptop still set up here. Obviously, the 15-year-old Acer, she's done me well. I obviously would give that to my parents. It was my aunt's for a while who gave it to my parents initially, so it's pretty much their laptop. I've just been using it forever and a day.
Um,
My parents aren't really tech savvy, so they don't really care enough to use it, but they're wanting to get on there just for the certain little ins and outs, little things they need to get on there and do. Uh, but it won't matter to me because I have a big old beefy PC and I like it. Love
all
it.
that being said, I actually have it pulled up. I'm gonna like allow it to be on the actual. Secondly, hit this real quick, and then give me one moment. There we go. Okay, I don't know exactly if the stream can see it. Like it, yeah. Actually, the stream can see it pretty well. Actually, I'm gonna have it cover up my face cam just for this. Nick, if you want, like, do like a pose so that like pointing at the face cam, so that we can have like a thumbnail, because it's gonna be off to your left. I think I'm pretty sure your left, right? Yeah, your left. So like
Wait,
yeah, point it like that, like something like that.
so like that.
Yeah, 1 second. Hold that thought. Okay. Okay. So I guess right now we'll go into it just to like show you guys what's all inside of it. Give me a second. Have that set up. So let me pull this up. Should be more organized. Chat. It should be way more organized. Okay. So if I scroll on this, it should be chilling. Okay. So hit interact. Where is interact at? Alright. So I guess we'll start going through this right now, just so, because Nick specifically wanted me to make sure you guys know what he has in it, because it's going to be a common question from everybody. So we bought it off he bought it off of Newegg. Hopefully you can still see that, I hope. So it's bought off of Newegg, as you can see, which is just a regular PC manufacturer. Not manufacturer, but it's a retail seller. 1 second, let me hit interact again because it's being really weird. Alright, so it has a i5, not 1104. I'm dumb. 11,400F CPU, which is pretty good. 2060 RTX 2060, which 2060 cards sometimes do have a little bit of problems, but so does pretty much every graphics card. And for the price that he got it at, it's pretty much a steal. 16 gigs of RAM, just because pretty much you can't play any game nowadays with less than 16. Pretty sure it's clocked at 3200 megahertz. Pretty sure. No, 3000 megahertz. So it's the same as my RAM. And then it has a 512 gig NVMe SSD, which instead of it being, like one of those classic SSDs, actually, I'll show the camera right now. Let me pull this down real quick so the chat can see it. So let me get rid of that. So as you can see right here in my system, okay, I gotta get rid of the effect. Well, okay, that's not fun. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna chalk that because we're not doing all that right now. Okay, so basically the SSD, instead of it being like a regular SSD that you plug the cable into and then it plugs into your motherboard, it is essentially a RAM stick that goes into your motherboard, so it boots a lot quicker because it doesn't have to go through all those cables. 1 second, let me hit interact once again. And then next, it has like basically the basics. Comes with a keyboard and mouse because that's like the go-to. Most companies do sell keyboards and mouse. This is the front, sides, as well as the insides, how it looks. That being said, guys, since this was what I recommended to Nick, because as you guys know, I have given myself this title to an extent, but Nick also basically said that I'm essentially his manager when it comes to tech shit.
Absolutely.
Whenever it comes to anything financial or when it comes to tech and it involves anything YouTube or gaming related, I'm the go-to guy.
Pretty much anything behind the scenes, he's the guy that helps me. He's definitely the channel manager. Just anything.
I basically manage everything but his bank account. So
Yeah, pretty much like when it comes to YouTube or Twitch channels or just helping with obviously I edit my own videos, but he's edited for me in the past, like for the Blind but Deadly montage. just different things like that. Like he's always been there to help behind the scenes and stuff like that. So, Mike's always coming in clutch when when you need him. So
Also, so you guys can in fact see, I hate that this does this. It's really annoying. Um, just so you guys can see, and this right here, hopefully I can pull it up. Let me go scroll up. He got it for a pretty much a steal. He got it for, this isn't the actual price he paid. He paid $50 less, but this retails for $1,300, and he got it for a 1150 or not 1150, 1050 plus like shipping and tax and all that. We're not going to get into all the details, but he did get it at a pretty discounted price as well, which I thought was pretty nice because he basically told me his budget. He told me what he wanted because he wanted to play Plutonium and stream, and that's about it. He wanted to be able to do both as well on the same machine. So this is something for his budget that I picked, and it's going to be here in 5 days, 4 days.
Less than 4 days at this point.
It's technically the second, so technically 3 days. 3 days. Yeah. So once that happens, your boy over here is going to have to end up. 1 second, let me close that. Your boy over here is going to end up having to go into TeamViewer and literally set up everything for him for like probably a couple hours. So, I'm just glad that he got it. He can start streaming with an overlay. His videos now, if he does it the method that I'm going to recommend, he can actually upload videos with the overlay already over them. Like, just take it from his Twitch or from his YouTube and just edit it and upload it. There's a lot that he can do now. He can make a lot of content. He can play music if he wants. He can switch games if he wants, and without ending the stream. If his application errs,
huge one.
If his application errs, you don't have to worry about the stream ending. Or, maybe he wants to take a 10-minute break. He can throw it on a BRB screen or an intermission screen and then go do his thing and come back. He doesn't have to worry about, the stream's up and, everybody's going to leave, There's a lot of things you can do. You can play videos in the background if, you're going to be gone for a couple minutes and you want to entertain the stream. There's so much stuff that you can do on the PC besides just checking chat. And, it brings a lot of utility, although it brings a lot of potential problems because, with my machine, I've had many problems with it. Nick hears me complain about it all the time. Although there are more... It's prone to more casualties with PCs. It also benefits a lot more, so it's a dual-edged sword in that aspect. Obviously I'm talking more about it than he is, but he's way more stoked than I am. But I am still very happy to help him, as well as we're discussing future upgrades as well. And I'm trying to pick up other components for him, some nice peripherals and a couple things that he's going to need for his whole setup, including once again another reason why it's nice to have a PC is this is not my keyboard for my Streamlabs. This is my keyboard for my gaming. But on my keyboard for my Streamlabs, which I have taped down, so it might not actually show because of my background. But basically over here, I have my keys set to hotkeys for it, so that way in midstream I can change the scene without having to worry about it. So those are basically things that he's going to be able to do now. Is there anything else?
Loving that.
Is there anything else that you would like to add to that as well?
Obviously, there's a whole lot that's gone into it, but like Mike said, we're not done. We don't plan on stopping here. Obviously, it's gonna be put on pause for a little bit until we can build up some money again. And I'm still, because kind of what's delayed this for as long as it has is I've been trying to save up to get a house, or at least my parents and I are saving up for a down payment for a house, and we're having it built right now. It's going to be built, or it's already built, but it's being
remodeled
on and remodeled and completely restored. They knocked down the back wall, they extended it 8 feet back, and just made sure our rooms would be bigger. So my room now is going to be even bigger. So
you have oh, sorry. No, continue.
I was gonna say around my birthday, which in May coming up, they say it should be ready around that time. They don't have an exact day or anything, but that's when they plan to try to have it done. And so if we could move in around that time, and then I can get everything set up. Obviously, I'm going to do the room tour way before then. So there's gonna be one last room tour while I'm here in the trailer, and we're gonna go around and show you guys my whole room and everything again. But then obviously once we switch over there and I get it all set up, you guys will be able to see the room tour, and y'all be able to see the difference in the size. My bed won't be like almost up against my setup, and I won't have like these just a few feet to walk around in and stuff. Because basically what happened is when they knocked down the wall and extended it back 8 feet, it basically gave me 2 of the room that I have now.
Like
so,
twice the size, basically.
Yeah, so I can have the back part can be like my actual bedroom, like where my bed and where Tippy's bed and where like my TV and my CCTV and all that type of stuff is. And then I can have like my monitors and all my gaming setup and like my entire like office type stuff all on the other side. And I can have it like actually look, a hell of a lot more professional and just look a lot more clean. I think it'll be, all like set up a lot better, and it won't just feel like I'm all like cluttered in and just pushed together. And it'll be able to like spread everything out nice and neat. And then of course after we get in over there and after I'm done saving up for the down payment and we're done doing all that, I'll be able to save up for a gaming chair, because that's what I'm going to need next is a gaming chair. I need a gaming chair as well, and I'm not going for anything like as expensive as like a Herman Miller or nothing crazy
Like something
like
like
that.
I have.
Yeah, something like a couple $100, something that I'll be able to like. I want something that's good and comfortable. I don't know how I feel about arms because I kind of like this chair that it doesn't have arms.
You can
Also,
decide
the
not
main
to put them
thing,
on as well. Like whenever you get them, like you could have it. Like mainly you have to assemble them, but if you would
yeah,
like, you don't have to put them on. But like I don't like them either, but it also helps in some situations.
yeah, it depends on the chair. Like it helps with like support and helps with a
Yeah.
lot of things on certain chairs. Um, but like a lot of times I noticed it would affect with like me trying to slide my chair up under the desk. The
Yeah.
the arms would get caught or whatever. But I guess that's not gonna matter because I'm gonna be taking. I was telling Mike about this before we started up earlier, but I'm gonna be taking the keyboard tray off of my desk because it's pretty much set up in the wrong spot that it won't be helpful anyways. And me and Mike already got a different way that we're gonna work with my keyboard. It's just gonna be like out up on top of my desk, which I'm perfectly fine with. Um, I don't think it's gonna. I think it'll look good once we get it all set up, and you guys will definitely see what I'm talking about. But on top of getting a new gaming chair, I also need to get another monitor because this monitor here is not a 240 hertz monitor. Obviously, I'm not going to be playing games at anything higher than 120 on the PS5, but when I have this PC and I'm playing Black Ops 2 Plutonium or Black Ops 3 Custom Zombies, I'm going to be wanting that 200 frames or whatever the highest amount I can get is, because me being blind, it doesn't matter as much as it does with other people, but it's still, hey, I'll take all the frames I can get. I'll take
Yeah.
every little bit of advantage, every little bit of, extra frames I can get, I will take.
Yeah.
So, that would be God tier. And then once I get that monitor, I'm probably
You can
going to
get a
try to get
vase
one
mount
that
as
has,
well. If you get like a
yeah,
vase mount, it can have all 3 monitors on like an axis, and then that way you can move them all where you want them and just have them to your desk.
that's probably how I
And
would
it
do
eliminates
is,
all the stands. It takes up less desk space. You can put shit underneath them as well. That's what I would like to do in
yeah.
the future.
That's definitely what I'd end up doing. Because once I buy the third monitor, then I would get the mount to hold all 3, and then I'd have them all like set up. Because basically, I already have these 2. I got the one here, and this one here would be used for reading chat. This one here would be used for gaming, the one in the middle, and then the one on the left, that's gonna be for like if I want to look anything up, or like if I want to pull up freaking Discord, or if I want to pull up whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be, just my extra that I can pull up whatever on. And I think, I won't use it anywhere near as much as like these other streamers or
Some
like
streamers have like 5 or
some of
8
these other
monitors
people?
attached, which is a little overkill. Like
Yeah.
there are uses for them when you're a bigger streamer, but like if you're at the entry level or like the mid level, you don't really need all that.
Yeah, like I could definitely get by with just the two, but if I'm gonna buy a third monitor, which the 240 hertz one, I'll probably be uh I'll probably be still reading chat on the Dell, which is the 24-inch, that's the shitty one. Um, I'll probably be still reading chat on that one because it's just gonna be for reading the chat, and then this one would probably be the one that's gonna be on the left over here that I'll probably use to search up everything on and just have it for general purposes, and then the gaming one obviously will be in the middle, and that'll be the one that I'll have that I use most of the time. But I think like a 3 monitor setup is a little bit overkill, but it would be nice to have just if I ever wanted to look something up, I don't have to tab off of my, chat and go look it up or go whatever, it'll just be that slight, quality of life improvement. And, all these little things, I feel like it's coming together, Mike. At first I was like,
everything's
I'm on the
falling in place.
PS4. At first I was on the PS4, and then I needed an upgrade, and I got to the PS5, and then I felt like, I got that upgrade, and I could definitely notice a little bit of the improvement, and now we're finally getting, a PC, and we're gonna freaking, I can't wait to see that improvement, and I'll get the experience.
I'll have to set up all the overlays for you as well. I'm gonna kit everything out for you to the best of my abilities. One thing as well that I would like to address, how you were talking about how you basically have, or you're gonna have basically 2 rooms. I'm assuming, obviously you shouldn't assume because everybody knows why, but I'm assuming that it's gonna be the same, like, Oris or whatever, same premise as mine, where the front half of my room is my office, my setup, my streaming area, my setup. And then after this green screen, this is why I turned the effect off in the back. Did that for a reason. Because after this green screen, the rest of it is like my bed and everything else,
Yeah.
And that way you can kind of have both, like I would love to have a bedroom and a setup room or like a gaming room. That'd be great. Yeah. But, that's exactly not always practical.
That's exactly how mine's going to be. It's going to be set up to where when you walk in, directly like on the wall across from you is going to be like where my L desk is, and it's going to be up against that wall. And then like so the whole first half of the room is going to be like my L desk and my gaming setup and all the stuff I want in my quote unquote office. And then after you walk, to the other side, past that 8 feet, the other 8 feet is, because it's like a 16 by 8. Yeah. So like, it's 8 feet across, and then I got, so
that's
I got an 8 by 8.
Sure that's what my room is, give or take.
So I basically have like an 8 by 8 office space, and then like another 8 by 8 bedroom space, which I love that. I love the way that it is. I already have it all like mapped out in my head where everything's gonna go, how I'm gonna do everything. And I love like rearranging and trying to, fit everything and have its, because you guys know me, I'm very OCD about that. Everything has its place, Yeah.
And you could do like what I did. I should have not put the filter back on, but in the background here, I have like, okay, the kit. I bought the kit itself. The kit's basically useless because I didn't know it was gonna be useless, but you can get like a cheapo back green screen and just hang it from your wall, and then it separates everything. It's also like a privacy net, like if you're in your setup and someone comes in your room and they're doing some crazy shit, you don't have to worry about it unless they go past your curtain. And, also for like the face cam premises, if you would like, you can also have like, like for instance, whenever you do move into your new house, if you want me to set up your green screen to either cut everything out or to have like a nice background, I can just do that for you, as long as you have the proper lighting. And like something as cheap as like a $20, $30 green screen, you can do so much with that just besides just having a green screen, Also, it looks a lot cleaner than, like a sheet, because back in the day I used a sheet as a backdrop, which
I remember that.
It didn't look horrible, but it doesn't look nearly as professional as this,
Yeah. And I think like that's one thing that will help me get a lot of attraction. Obviously, this is another benefit that we haven't talked about, but I mean, we kind of touched on being able to like edit videos and stuff like that, but also like editing thumbnails.
Yeah,
I
this gives you
know,
Adobe Photoshop.
I know that's not something I'm gonna be good at.
I'll have to be the one doing it.
Obviously, I can, you know, I can just try and I can work at it until you got to start somewhere, right? Obviously. But my point is that would be something down the road, but that's something to work towards.
Yeah.
And it gives me something to get good at. And if I can get good at that and start making thumbnails, because I'm very creative, I know, like, I could make, okay, like,
if you weren't disabled, you'd be able to make, if you could make it what's in your, when you're in your mind, it would look amazing.
Yeah, like, I can picture some really dope things and imagine, like, but, you know, if I could just put the idea, you know, and be, you know, good enough to do that. But my editing is not at that level. My editing's only decent on Share Factory. And so,
worst comes to worst, I can do them for you. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
So, you know, but I think that would be a huge benefit when it comes to, because, like, if you look at my channel, all of my thumbnails are like the default whatever, you know, it's not even a thumbnail because they're a live stream, and then they didn't get, like, at least with a video I can choose
where exactly you have the thumbnail. Yeah,
I can do it, but on console there's no way to put a thumbnail for, I mean, like, even on PS4, if you streamed from the PS4 and then you would go live, it would either make it the first thing that it's seen when you, like, started your stream. That's why I always would start my stream on, like, looking at the gold camo for whatever gun I'm working on.
Yeah.
But on PS5, it does not just make it whatever, you know, and it doesn't even randomize it like I've seen it do for some streams. It literally will make it where it is not even a thumbnail. Like, I don't even know what you would describe it as, but it's like a non-existent thing.
It's whatever you say your default image to be. Because I had the same issue whenever I was on console, where if I was premiering a video, if I was streaming a video, it would have a picture as the thumbnail, and the picture would be, like, obviously it was something related with me and my setup, but it wasn't what I wanted it to be. And the only way you can, like, there's a way to change that, but it's like annoying. So, like, you know, it would just be nice because, you know, I don't know about on Twitch, because Twitch, it's constantly changing. Like, it just the thumbnail updates as you stream. So, like, you know, if you're let's say you're doing, like, halfway through the gold camo, well, it might pause at a certain part throughout the process, and then have that for the thumbnail, and then it auto updates every couple minutes.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be as bad because you're not worried about your stream uploading as a video afterwards. And then if someone wants to go back and look,
they can watch the VOD, but it's not going to have an awkward thumbnail.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not going to, like, you're not worried about how the thumbnail's going to look when they go back to look at it. Like how on YouTube, if they go back, like, say if somebody goes back to look at one of your streams, like, they're not gonna know what's the difference between any of them, because they're all gonna just have that same default picture as your thumbnail for all of them. And that's like what my last, like, 6 or 7 streams have all just been that. And that'll be another thing that I think, you know, will just help me look more professional. Eventually I'll get, like, a better, like, background. You know, we're gonna have the freaking, you know,
I can even custom make you a background. I just have to get Photoshop again. But another thing is that I've discussed this with you off camera, but also you could do what a lot of streamers like Murder Show do now that you're on PC, which, mind you, it will take a little bit more hardware. Like, not your hardware should be fine, but it's obviously going to use more of the hardware. But you could, as long as you have Streamlabs Prime or OBS Prime or whatever it's called, you can. I'm pretty sure you can stream from YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So you're streaming on YouTube to your current fan base, but you're also streaming on Twitch, so you're not doing anything to negatively affect your channels, but you're all, like, it's a one-way thing where you can only go up, you can't go down from there.
And then if I was to do that, I could have it set up to where my chat like where I have one
Yeah, and it
chat pulled
pops
up
up on the
on this
screen.
monitor. Like on this left monitor over here, I could have
Mm-hmm.
Twitch pulled up, and then YouTube pulled up on this right monitor. You know, something like that, to where like I could be able to look at both chats
Yeah.
while streaming to both, and I'd be perfectly fine with that as long as you know, and I'm pretty sure the PC would be fine with being able to run that.
Yeah. Because as long as you're not actually playing a game and doing that on the PC, you should be fine. Because, like, with my
Yeah.
PC, my biggest issue is my CPU, and you have a better CPU than I do. Like, I have a really good graphics card, but even though I have it set in Streamlabs, to use my GPU over my CPU for streaming, the CPU still hits at 100%, which is not good at all. But you have a better CPU than I do, and that's the only issues that I really have. And as long as that's with playing a game and streaming it. If you're just using it to stream, the only really difficult part is just the overlays and like actually pushing out the stream. It shouldn't have a problem with anything else. So really, as long as you do have OBS Prime, you shouldn't have a problem, to be honest. The biggest problem would be not having TTS, but I'm pretty sure I can find a way to have that enabled for you.
And then obviously, like later down the line, like if I ever wanted to seriously get into like PC gaming, I would obviously just get a different PC, like a
and
more
use the other one as a
beefier.
streaming PC. Like use
And
the
then
CF as a streaming PC. Yeah.
I specifically wanted a streaming PC. Like the only reason I mainly got this was to play like BO2 and you know things that will easily be able to run.
Like
So basically, like my point is though, is if I'll ever want to get like say like because Mike knows this, I know a lot of you guys don't know this, but certain games like Dead Matter or The Day Before, like games like that, like zombie survival games, like open world, you know, I would love to play those type of games. They're not on console. I'd love to be able to play them, but that is much too demanding for the PC that I'm gonna have. So obviously, Dead Matter ended up flopping. And The Day Before is, you know, still in the early stages, and I haven't really heard a whole lot about whether or not if it's even doing great or what's the deal on it. But the point being is, if there's a more demanding game that I decide like I want to really commit a lot of time to, and I really want to play, or if I ever decide I want to just fully switch to playing COD on PC with a controller.
Yeah.
Then
there's a lot of benefits to that. Like there's a lot, but yeah.
Yeah. If I ever decide I want to do that, then obviously I'll just get a second PC and then not even worry about it. But that's like way down the line. Your boy's still gonna be on a PS5 for quite a while. Just because of the simple fact that me just now buying this $1,500 PC. I'm trying to buy the house, and then like I talked about buying the gaming chair. Buying the gaming monitor, the 240 hertz one. I mean, you're looking at another like almost another $1,000 bucks.
Yeah, $500 to $1,000. Yeah. Two things real quick. The first thing that I will say is the reason why I could have there's like a whole it's like a shifting system, like balancing, right? So if you wanted the PC only for streaming, and I mean only streaming, you could do what Bursta did, which, well, mind you, whenever he played PC Cold War on his streaming PC, he got like 70 frames. But what you could do is you could get one of the best CPUs there are, and then like a 1030 or, he had like a 1660 or 1650, and that's not for gaming. That is for streaming. And I could have done that for you because Plutonium isn't super hard to run, and it would have been a little bit easier for you to stream, but I wanted to give you that balance because you want a good balance so that way you can play games like, you can play Plutonium and some of these other games that aren't going to run well if you have a really bad GPU. But also, I didn't go completely gaming performance related and go with a different set. Also, that being said, can you hold down the fort for a few moments because there's something that I have to do really quick, and then I will be back. And I know, obviously, you have no problem occupying the stream's time.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, I pretty much will tell you guys, it's been... I'll just say it like this, guys. It's not been that we didn't want to bring a podcast, to you guys. We definitely love doing the podcast, getting to sit down It's just the way that everything was going down between the holidays and between, me and Mike just not feeling good, and the way that everything went down, it just, we just ended up chalking it up for a few weeks, and a lot of people thought that we were never going to come back and not make any more podcasts, and they thought like, oh, they missed one, all it takes is you missing one, that's it, now the streak's been broken, all this. It's like, yeah, we know we're gonna miss them here and there, but we love doing the podcast, coming out here and just having a good time, chatting it up, talking about what's going on in our lives, and bringing the good content for you guys, because I think it's a really good time just coming out here and not just sitting here vibing and letting you guys know what's going on in our lives, but also just getting a lot off your chest and talking about things, and sitting here, especially like, you know, it just kind of explains to you guys like why certain things are the way they are. Like, why did we miss so many days or so many podcast, streams and so many episodes? We kind of, break it down and explain to you guys. Why have me and Mike not been streaming or playing as much Vanguard as we could have or should be? It's because we, like we discussed, with all the problems with the game and with everything going on, it's really hard to sit here and play day in and day out and stuff like that. It's a lot different than like back in the day, like when BO3 first came out. BO3 was like the first time I enjoyed a game since BO2, and when BO3 came out, I literally would play that game all day. As soon as I got home from school, I played it nonstop until I was being forced to get off by my mom. And then when my mom forced me to get off, sometimes I would even wake up, wake right back up and go over there and start playing again, and then play all night, and then act like she, pretend like, oh, let me go over here and go to sleep real quick, and then she'd come in there and wake me up, and then bam, I'd be, going to school or whatever, and then the whole day I'm at school, I'm over there thinking about it and thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna grind this gun out when I get home, or I'm gonna work on the headshots for this, or I'm gonna, I'm gonna shoot this down or whatever. And I remember specifically grinding out like diamond rocket launchers and getting gold on the KN-44 off the rip, with the KN-44 being my first gold gun, and then getting diamond launchers after that, grinding it out. I remember that like it was nothing, because I grinded that right off the rip, and that was a hell of a lot of fun, just hopping on there, enjoying it. And when a game is fun like that, like you actually will sit there and it doesn't feel like it's a chore to just hop on and be like, oh yeah, let me sit here and grind for a while, and nah, like you willingly hop on, like you could literally, like, if a game was good, I would sit here stream for 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours, and then after the stream's over, take like a 20, 30 minute break, and then I'm wanting to hop right back on. Like that's how it should be. When the game is good, that's how it should be. Like, and back in BO2 stuff like that, like, shoot, bro, I'll hop on there, I'll be playing all day. I might take like a 20-minute break, hop right back on. I'm like, it's just way too good, man. Like, I can't help it. Like, the game is just way too enjoyable for you to, want to take too much of a break. And that's how BO2 is for me, like, for, a lot of reasons. Not just the fact that it's the best, but in my opinion, what helps a lot is I've been playing these newer games. So playing all these newer games, if you ever go back to play BO2, it makes you really appreciate like how good that game is, and like makes you think like, damn, we really had it made back then, because we didn't know at the time, but we were really in the golden freaking ages of Call of Duty. Those were the golden years, man. Not even kidding. That is absolutely crazy that because nowadays it's like, okay, you play and you genuinely get on, and you either get more pissed off, or you just end up wanting to get off completely and not even have a good time. Like, it just kills your vibe, it kills your mood, and makes you not even want to play the damn, the franchise, makes you not even want to play games at all. And you're like, why the hell do I even do this? This is completely annoying. But when you play older games like BO2, or it doesn't even have to be that game specifically. That's just my personal favorite COD. And I know a lot of you guys agree with me. But when you play games like that, it's literally there's nothing that forces you to play. Like you,
It's
like
the
things have
drive
to
to play is
force
what should
you.
happen.
Things
It,
have to force you to get off, and it's the opposite. Things don't have to force you to get on. Things have to force you to get off. Like
that's how it should be. It should be. It shouldn't be the way it is now, where it's the complete opposite. Where you literally have to force yourself to play, which that's not what a game's meant to be for.
I mean, chat, I literally have 285 days played on Black Ops 2 between all of my accounts combined when I added it up a couple years ago. And let me just say this. That is the most game time I have of any game ever. And like you could add up all my games from like every other game I've played ever. And I think Black Ops 2 would be more than all the games I've ever played ever combined. So, that says a lot right there. But I'll also say this: it's like, you know, it's not just the amount of playtime that I have, but it's also the fact that I have taken like a bunch of breaks from it. And like this last time, I mean, it's been literally so long since the last time that I played a game of Black Ops 2, especially like against legit players who aren't hacking and cheating and all
spin
that.
botting and everything else.
I actually got to like full on enjoy a game of like multiplayer against people who are real people, not bots or anything like that, and get to actually enjoy it and have a good time. And it's gonna be wild. I mean, and then I found out I could do the same thing with zombies, and I could be able to play with people who aren't cheating on zombies and stuff like that too. And I think that's gonna be great. And let me just say this: not just people who know me like that, from my gaming time, but even Abby. She knows. She's like, damn, this sucks. You're gonna get this PC, and then you're gonna be playing Black Ops 2 the whole time. You're not even gonna talk to me. You're gonna be ignoring me. I'm like, it's not like that.
It definitely is. Don't lie to yourself like that.
I'm like, I'm still gonna love you, and
Not
you're
as
gonna
much as
enjoy
Black Ops
everything.
2, but you still
And,
love
and,
it.
and she's like, I don't know if I can compete with Black Ops 2. It's like, duh. It was amazing. I freaking love Abby to death, and I'm not gonna freaking sit there and ignore her or avoid her just so I can play Black Ops 2. I mean, it'll be just like anything else. I'll just have her on the phone and I'll play the game while I'm talking to her.
Yeah.
I think that's an absolute vibe as well, especially if I'm able to somehow like instead of having her join the PlayStation chat party,
Just join Discord and
just have her join Discord,
yeah.
and I just share my screen.
Yep.
And then I'm pretty sure that'll work that way, like 95% sure.
Yeah.
And so she could still do that on her phone. She'd still be able to watch me and talk to me, and she'd still be able to talk to everybody. Everybody that's in the Discord. She wouldn't be able to talk to like Dustin and Dominic, and that's what Dustin and Dominic are afraid of. That we're gonna only be in the Discord the whole time and never actually join the party.
Well, Nick, another thing that you could.
Which, to be fair, that is what happened with Jordan. He has not. He's only joined the chat party that one time since he got the PC, and he said like 2 or 3 words, left, and then never joined back.
Another thing is like well, one of the main reasons why he hasn't joined back, like, yeah, it is partially because he likes Discord way over the party chat, because it doesn't suck. But also, like, he's on a Rocket League team now, and that's pretty much all they use. So, like, I'm happy for him grinding a game other than COD and making money. Like, he's already made some money from it, and I'm really happy to see that.
Jordan, if you're watching this, congratulations. I heard about the tournament win. Freaking shout out to you. I don't give a damn how much money it was for. The fact that you can say that you won money.
And, like, he's on an actual team, too. It's not even, like, a joke team as well.
I don't like watch Rocket League or fuck with it like that or play it myself, but like I've seen people play it and I can respect like the skill that it takes to play that. So congrats to you, bro. But you definitely gotta still join the party and talk with your boys. I don't give a damn. Just like I told you with the whole you being healthy and running miles and lifting and doing all that, I'm perfectly fine with you doing all that. You still gotta join up and talk with your boys, though. You gotta let us know, keep us up to date, and you can't just freaking just leave us like that. You gotta keep us up to date. Let us know how life's treating you.
One thing I would like to say at the moment, um we're currently about an hour and 20 in, and I have about one more topic I would like to discuss, and then maybe we could start wrapping things up. Just because of like the current time that we had to, as the making of the video,
Yeah.
like the time that it is currently. You have things you have to do in the morning, as well as like I have a lot of things I have to do in the morning, depending on how my PC decides to work.
Because obviously we're streaming this, but if you're not watching this live, it's currently 2 a.m. for me, 3
It's 3
a.m.
for
for
me,
Mike.
yeah.
So, and it's a Saturday night, so, I have church in the morning, and, my mom's going to pick up, Abby and her brother and her parents, and, my mom always wakes me up in the morning before she goes to pick them up, and she goes to pick them up at 10:15. My mom wakes me up at 9:30, so 7.5 hours from now, I have to be up. So that's why Mike is saying that. It's mainly more for my benefit, not his. Like
Well, also me, because
but
my PC is gay, so.
well, yeah, your situation, I get with your whole PC situation. But as far as like you having to necessarily be up at a specific time, like it's
It's
more
just
of
gonna
like
take a
I
long
understand
time.
that more
Yeah.
for like my benefit, like
Yeah.
because you could do the whole PC thing literally at any time of day.
It just would take a long time, that's all.
You just want to go ahead and get it knocked out early.
Yeah.
Which 100% makes sense.
Um,
I get you on that. But yeah, we can be getting into whatever your topic is.
the topic that I said I was saving for this, which I'm gonna discuss my part on this in a little bit later because it's kind of iffy, but I figured since this is like it's a classic, I figured why not like go over like our New Year's resolutions for the year, and I started mine before the year, mind you, or before New Year's. I ended up breaking it before New Year's as well. So let's hear yours first.
Okay, so mine are actually like I kind of thought of them like kind of last minute and everything like that, which I still have to, in order to hold up my I actually have to do something after the podcast in order to hold up my end of the bargain, what I said I was going to do for my New Year's resolution. But basically, I have two. And my two New Year's resolutions are first, I want to lift more weights and try to get back into it. But, the kind of like added additional one with that, I guess, which is kind of like a two-part thing, is in turn with lifting weights more, I need to also eat more. I need to up my calorie intake, stuff like that. Just because being really extra skinny and like unhealthy, because like I'm like unhealthily skinny right now, and being like super skinny and like buff and like ripped, it just looks weird. So like I need to put on a little bit of weight and then turn that into muscle. But it's hard to like turn
It's a very
you
long
know
process.
it's hard to actually gain any fat or build any gain any weight if I'm not eating enough, and I'm not eating's a whole chore. I've explained that to you guys. I'm not gonna go over that whole thing again, but eating's a chore for me, and that is why it's hard for me to like gain weight and actually because I've been steady losing weight. I'm not eating enough a day, stuff like that. So basically, getting into it, my first New Year's resolution is just lifting more weights, trying to just build up some more, mainly core and arm and upper body strength, like a lot of like working on my forearms and working on biceps and working on my core and just trying to. I'm not trying to get like a 6 or an 8 pack, because like when I was younger, I had an 8 pack and stuff like that, which I'm not like necessarily going for that, but I just want to be like I just want to feel healthier again, back in the day, I was really into it, but then Mike probably remembers this when I got pushed down when I was up at college.
Mhm.
I was walking down the sidewalk, and this jogger like came and pushed me down, and I landed like on my bad wrist, like kind of like that, and basically my wrist, which never healed properly, that got fractured, it basically it pops and makes all kinds of noises, and yeah,
Screams at you.
ever since then for like months it was like very hard for me to like my wrist would just give out on me if I put too much weight on it, and I didn't want to like lift weights and take a chance on it.
Yeah.
So now I want to try to get back into it, and I might end up having to just wear a wrist brace and just bear through it. I have one. I might just end up doing that. Also, I'd say my other New Year's resolution, which, to a lot of you guys might either be something that you guys might be like, what, you're not already doing that? Or some of you guys might be like, you're crazy for that, twice is enough. But I am trying to get into the habit and just get into my routine of brushing my teeth 3 times a day. So when I wake up in the morning, brush my teeth. After lunch, brush my teeth, and then after dinner, before I go to bed, brush my teeth. If I can get into that, because I mainly do it, like I don't do it I do the two already, like when I wake up and before I go to bed. Sometimes I'll forget before I go to bed if I'm like extra tired, but hey, who doesn't? I'm not perfect. But a lot of times I won't do the one during the day, like after I eat lunch or whatever, and then like from then all the way until dinner time, even after dinner, because I eat again and then brush my teeth. Like, I don't know, I just hate having that like plaque feeling on my teeth. I literally feel dirty and nasty, and like I need to get it off. So that's what I was referring to when Mike first brought up the whole resolutions thing. Is after this whole podcast is over, since I had ate not long before this, and I didn't brush my teeth right after eating, because I always like to wait at least like 30 minutes after eating before brushing my teeth. uh, I'm gonna go in there and brush my teeth before bed and stuff like that, obviously. So it's just something that I'm trying to like maintain, and everything for me, another thing that I'm gonna have to do is just even if I have to make it something fun, like let's say even if I have to implement like something on stream to where it's like I'll grab that 20-pound dumbbell that I have in my room
I have like a channel point reward on
you
Twitch
know
if you get affiliate. Literally, like, okay, you gotta lift this many weights, or oh, brush your teeth. Like,
yeah, or like it's like, oh, or I'll just tell myself however many kills I get, that's however many
it
I
should be how
have
many
to do
deaths.
with
It should be how
each
many
arm.
deaths you get. I think that would be even better because that's like it's a punishment if you do bad.
Yeah, that's true. um So yeah, like however many deaths I get, that's how many that's how many curls I have to do with the 20-pound dumbbell. With either I could do each arm, which is probably what I'd do. So say like I have 20 deaths, then I got to do 20 with each arm. And thankfully for the most part I'm playing free for all, so I'm not having more than like 20 deaths for the most part each game. So thankfully I'm not playing like Dom where it's like 50 deaths. I'm over here like for 10 years just dying.
5 sets of 10 on each arm.
Holy. Yeah,
Or
because like I
yeah.
definitely couldn't just do 50 in one go. Like I'd have to do like 10 switch, 10 switch. Like
Your
I'd
arms
have
would
to.
be jello because if you don't work out in a long time, like I've experienced this myself. Like I have worked out and I used to work out a lot, and if you don't do it on like a regularly basis, like whenever I hit the leg press after like 2 years, I was doing 300, which was easy, but after my legs were like jello, and then like now I'm up to doing 500 and I feel normal, but like if you don't do it for a while, your legs or your arms or whatever just turns into straight jello and they're sore for like a week straight.
Yeah, it's just like with running. If you haven't ran in a while, then you should go back to running like that. Like
Yeah.
man, your legs will be just destroying you the next day. But I mean, to me, it's just like both of my things are things that if I can make it a part of my routine, I'll be fine. Like
The
if
hardest
I
part
can
is
get
getting
into the
started.
routine, yeah, if I can get into the routine of brushing my teeth 3 times a day, just like either some people say just do it after every meal, but to me like I don't want to wake up and eat breakfast and then brush my teeth after breakfast unless I wake up really hungry. But for the most part, like, I don't eat breakfast when I wake up, which I guess, like, that's, part of the problem right there. One of the, they say most important meal of the day, and I don't even eat it.
I don't eat breakfast either. I eat dinner. That's it.
Yeah, I wake up, and I brush my teeth, and then I go, like, 4, maybe 5 hours without eating anything. Then I'll finally eat something, which is, like, my quote-unquote lunch. And then after that, I'll wait until, like between 7 and 9 to eat dinner. And then I'll have dinner or whatever. But 2 meals a day is, like, a third of what my doctor recommends. So, and it's, my problem is I want to have, like, bigger portions, like, bigger meals, like 2 big meals instead. And I need to have, like, a bunch of smaller meals spread out. Like, one thing I like to get a lot is, like, get bananas. Like, if I get, like, a bundle of bananas, I like bananas. I could have, have that. If we get cereal, I can have that as, like, a meal. And then I get my mom to have, like, those little mac and cheese bowls. Those would be, like, 1 meal, But the problem is, like, if I don't actively have my mom go and get those, like,
it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
Then, like, if I go in there, she's like, oh, there's stuff in there. It's like, okay, well, the stuff that's in there is, like, full on, like, dinner, like, full course dinner meals. Like,
yeah. It's not like a snack.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go in there and make me, like, a freaking full blown, like, steak or, like, meatloaf. I'm not trying to, like, I'm not trying to make all this type shit. Like, no, like, maybe I need to pull, like, a Wings of Redemption and get some banquet meals or something. I don't know.
Banquet meals slap, especially if it's basically meal prep. Like, if you stream a lot, they're good for meal prep.
Yeah, and I think that would be good for me because, like, I don't want to go through the whole process of actually, like, making the food. So, like, that's why I like the whole mac and cheese bowls. You just warm them up, whatever. But mac and cheese gets old after a while, unless you're that one guy on YouTube that only ate mac and cheese.
And it depends because, like, mac and cheese, the brands are so inconsistent. Some are really good, and then some are really watery, and then some are really rich, and then some are really not rich. It's a hit or miss.
Yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag for sure. But I guess enough about my whole New Year's resolution. What tell everybody what your New Year's resolution is.
All right. Well,
you've already broke it.
Well, okay, I have 2. The second, fuck, I'm stupid. The second one I kind of thought up on the fly, but it's something that I really need to start sticking to because it's also something that I broke before New Year's because I normally am a strong-willed person that if I say I'm doing something, I'm doing it. But the past couple years, I haven't. I procrastinate and shit, and I just, like, tell myself, oh, it'll be alright, but it's never alright. Okay. So the first one, it goes back to, like, a month ago, or a couple weeks ago, where I had a tryout for a team. I didn't do bad. I did average, but it's like the Hook situation, Whenever Hook started playing bad, he wasn't playing bad. He was just playing below his average, So that really, it wasn't that it upset me. It pissed me off. Like, I'm like, I like,
You just weren't living up to your expectations.
Yeah.
And, like, to your standards.
Like, I wasn't holding myself to I was holding myself to my standards, and I wasn't reaching them. And it was like, I know, like, the competition. We dropped 2 maps out of a full rotation of S&D and Hardpoint. We lost 2 maps. So, like, we only dropped 2 maps, but I was mad because, like, I wasn't winning my gunfights, I wasn't winning things that I should be winning. Like, I clutched a 1v4 and got a 4 down, that's it. And, like, oh, that sounds amazing, a 1v4, yeah, but, like, for me, that's usual, even against high-tier players. I've aced against high-tier teams on the GB ladders, on, like, the wagers ladders. Like, I can be a really good player. And,
In other words, like, the list should have been a lot longer of, like, things he did in that, like,
yeah, like, I should have had a lot more than just those 2. Like, I don't really care if I'm super flashy, Like, yeah, that stands out, but I didn't stand out. And that's what pissed me off, And, like, the dude I told him, like, I haven't been playing recently. I've had a lot of things going on. Is there a way that I can do another tryout in the future? And he's like, yeah, sure. We hold more than one set of tryouts. And I told him like, yeah, I didn't perform to my standards, and I really am like hating myself for that. you know, but that being said, that got me in my head, and I was thinking like, okay, like mind you, when those games where I did bad, I didn't do horrible. Like I would go -1 or +2 or whatever, but like it pissed me off because normally I had 50 kills and then 2.5 minutes in hill. And mind you, every single hard point I had the most time in the hill, and I was neutral, which isn't the best, but that's how it should be. I shouldn't be the one. I shouldn't be double neg and have the most hill time, but I also shouldn't be fragging out and have the most hill time. And the person that was trying out in these eights, he basically said like, hey, you had the most hill time. That we'll take that into consideration. But in my head, I knew, I'm like, I'm not getting accepted because I played below my standards, and in a sense that lit a fire under my ass. Like if you guys are popular on Twitter or like no Twitter, Optic Hex put out a tweet, and it was a video, and basically it said, you can take days off, you can have sick days, you can spend days with your family, but if you want to be the best player that you can be, don't. That's fine if you want to do all that, but don't do that and then expect to be the best player you can be, and don't be mad when those players that did sacrifice all that are above you. And, and it was thinking to me, like, okay, I took a week and a half off of COD, and, like, it really sucks that I performed that way. And, like, it made me, it genuinely pissed me off more than if I got joked. And I was losing gunfights to people that I shouldn't even be losing gunfights to. I should have done 100 times better than I did, and that made me mad. So my resolution was every day that I don't play COD, every day that I don't hop on and I'm not grinding GBs or wagers, I'm going to shoot 1,000 bots a day. So if I don't play COD that day, I shoot 1,000 bots, and some days I shot 2,000, 3,000 just because I wanted to have my aim straight. And, and I kept that up for quite a few days, and then, I got on the routine where I didn't even hop on COD, because it's the same dilemma. I don't have a team, I'm underage, I can't compete in challengers or cups or pro points, so it's like, okay, well, I'm kind of stuck in a rock behind a hard place, what's really the point, So I got kind of stuck in that loop, and then I started playing Tarkov, and, it's a really, really difficult game. But even getting joked in Tarkov, I had such a good time. Like, I actually didn't want to come back to COD. And, like, if I did have a team every day and I could scrim every day, I would love that. I would hop on every single day and I would want to grind. And I just haven't want to do that, So, in the future, once I do get my PC fixed to the extent where I can start playing again, I'm going to have to try to hold myself to that standard, unfortunately. Because although I don't really want to play COD, neither does Nick. At the end of the day, if I want to be an AM or a challenger, I have to. So it's like more of a job than anything. And
Which is kind of what I was talking about when you were gone. Like, it's sad that nowadays you got to force yourself to get on, when back in the day you had to force yourself to get off because the COD was so good. Now it's so shit. It's like, wow, it's so bad, bro.
And
the situation we're in.
To wrap it all up, the last part of this whole resolution is before I lost my job in a resolution, I was saving up to upgrade my PC, which I still am. I have my motherboard on the way, and I have my CPU right next to me. But I had over enough money saved. Like, in the span that I was spending my money, if I would have just saved that money, I would have already had my PC upgraded. And, that, like, okay, cool, oh, you just don't have an upgraded PC. Like, I still get good frames. The problem is I can't stream. And if I can't stream, or if I stream at really low frames, I can't play in wagers because now, now they made it a rule where you're forced to stream. Okay, and that's the reason why I didn't play tourneys is because I'm forced to stream. So I can't do those two, and then some GBs, there's a setting where it's like PC but with stream or whatever, like plus stream, So I can't, I get limited so much, and it really sucks because, I don't have an ID, so I can't file for unemployment yet. I don't have a job. I don't have a whole pool of money to save up, and I need to stop, like, procrastinating and buying things or buying food and stuff that I know, like, it's impulsive buys. I need to actually, like, I had my family, I told them, like, every week I get paid, take money out. I'll tell you how much to take out, take it out and put it in my savings so I can't spend it. And They did that twice, and I told them every single week to do it. I'm like, can you please do that for me? Oh, I will. Can you please do it for me? Oh, I will. And then 2 weeks later, it's still in my account, and I end up spending half of it on food because, we didn't have food made a day, and I was hungry. And it's stuff like that where I need to, be a stronger willed person. And once I do stream every day, so that's like there's two parts to that, right? So the first part's saving up to get my PC upgraded, which I still need like another $800 or $900 because I have to pay my friend $100 to reassemble everything. So not only that, but also once I do get it set up, I want to have a streaming schedule. I would literally be streaming every single day if I can get 100 plus or like 144 plus frames in every game that I play while I stream.
And that's definitely like to kind of add on. That's also like another one for me. That would be my third. Is I don't know about streaming every day, but just
having a schedule at least. Like try to make a schedule.
Just streaming more and streaming in general. Like just going live. Not going a day. Without at least putting some thought into either streaming on Twitch, streaming on YouTube,
or grinding towards something,
or like trying to do, even if I'm doing something behind the scenes, at least if I'm actively doing something to better myself or better the channel in some kind of way, or get some content for the channel, then I feel like I've did my part.
And here's my take.
It doesn't have to be a full on like video, or an 8-hour stream. Even if I only stream for an hour that day, at least I did something to actively try to get out there and,
Yeah. And my take on that is, like, obviously you've done this in the past, and I know since Vanguard you kind of, like, throttled it back. But I don't think it should just be, like, pointless streams. Like, yeah, obviously grinding for camos and streaming it, that's not really that pointless. But I don't mean like that. I mean, like, you should start up your stream and have a goal. Have a goal to get more subscribers. Maybe hit a donation goal. Maybe hit a viewer count goal. Maybe hit a view goal. Or try to, like, force your way to get monetized, Or, like, if you're on Twitch, right? Like, I'm close to getting affiliate. I just need a couple different things. But, like, if you start going on Twitch, make your goal to get one of the things done for affiliate. Get another thing done for affiliate. Each time... if you're streaming and getting guns, gold, and all that, that's great. Like, more power to you. But that's a worthless stream, not like entertainment value, but as far as like value or like progression, it's not really doing much. You're just sitting there doing the same thing. Now, if you set a goal and then you try to achieve it while you're doing that, it's even better.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It also gives you more motivation when you stream as well.
Because like if you're like basically I am actively doing something, but it's in game. And you're saying like actively do something in game, that's fine, keep streaming that, but also have something that you're actively trying to do for the stream, like either actively try to hit a subscriber goal or get a donation goal or try to get Twitch affiliate, whatever. Actively try to do something related to the stream and keep the chat like to where they'll be interactive and try to want to help out, because a lot of people love that when they see you're at a certain, like, because when I have in the past put like, road to 400 subs or road to 250 subs.
And inclines people to do that as well. Like, it helps you out just by putting that in there.
Yeah, certain people are like, oh shit, you're on the road to this many subs. How many are you away? Oh shit, you're only like 9 away. I got some boys, and like
yeah.
And gets the ball rolling, shit like that. So I definitely know what you're talking about for sure.
One thing as well, before we go ahead and wrap it up, I would like to say, as far as all that, one thing I would like to do after like I set up your overlays and all that, I would like to set you up on Twitch and YouTube as well. Because like we've said before, you intend on, if you ever get Streamlabs Prime, just try to stream on both platforms at the same time so you're progressing both. But also, like, obviously make a video on your YouTube. Like, maybe, make a shorts clip. Like, how you put, it's under a minute, exclamation point, or not exclamation point, hashtag shorts. And you make a video saying, hey, guys, check out my Twitch. I'm going to start streaming over here. And
probably just do it on, like, the community tab.
Yeah.
Do it, like, a post on it.
And with that being said, it helps you so much on Twitch. Because, like we said, it's like a hierarchy. The more viewers you get, the more viewers you're going to get. But also, Twitch, in my opinion, is more supportive than YouTube, because on Twitch you can host somebody, you can raid somebody, you can tell everybody in your stream to check this person out, and it's way easier to do it on Twitch. As well as, if you're hitting those viewer counts and like you're hitting a lot of viewers, then you're more likely to get more viewers in the future. You're higher on their following list. Not only that, but notifications on Twitch actually work for the most part. And not only that, but what I've been trying to do a lot here recently is I'm streaming, right? At the end of my stream, I used to just end it. Even if I didn't have a good stream and I had viewers in here, I would just end it. Now, even if I do have a bad stream, I think, okay, well, you guys, I didn't have the best stream, but I'm going to send you over to someone that's going to bring up the vibes, that English that you guys might enjoy watching, and then by hosting and rating other people, in return, like, even if you don't expect it, in return, they end up, like, building that little community, and then they bring guys back over here and back and forth, and people start to see you as a person, as a streamer, as your personality, and it works so much better than YouTube because you can be so close-knit with other people, and it's, like, actually connected. It's not like YouTube where you just drop a link and, here, check this guy out if you want to. Like, you force the people to go to their channel, or, like, their channel's premiered on your channel, So, like, it's just more, it solidifies everything more, and I think it helps a lot of growing streamers, like, grow a lot more, like, especially at the lower end. Hello? I think we might have some technical difficulties here. I believe we do have some technical difficulties on this side of the stream, or on Nick's portion of the stream. I guess while Nick is reconnecting, I would like to address a few things. Towards the end of the podcast, after the video itself has stopped been recording, I'm going to end up, responding to chat, go over a couple things, and hopefully Nick's Wi-Fi did not go out, because if it did, it's not gonna be a good time. Probably he texted me saying his iPad died. I think that's what it's gonna be. Give me one moment. I can find my phone. Well, guys, I think that being said, that's going to wrap up the end of the podcast for today. We're going to upload this on the Blind Rage Podcast on YouTube, as well as it's going to go up as a VOD on my YouTube. Make sure to check out Nick's YouTube at Blind Nick on YouTube, as well as his his secondary YouTube channel, Blind But Deadly, as well as Twitch, which is Blind But Deadly now. As well as make sure to check out my Twitch at NextMRV, as well as my Twitter, where I post every time that I go live. I also post, updates and things like that, some clips. And that being said, guys, as always, much love. Mike out. Peace. See you later, guys. Okay, well, since all of that kind of went haywire, everybody, let me fix this real quick. I don't know why it completely went black. Give me 1 second. I don't know why everything's like glitched out today. But it is. Hopefully my Streamlabs didn't crash as well. 1 second. Okay, let me fix this real quick, everybody. Hopefully it will fix everything that's happening. Hopefully it's working, hopefully. Okay, we're back. Okay, let me pull up Discord real quick. Okay, so to address a couple of those things real quick, let me just, whatever, we'll do that. So just to address a couple of the comments, what's up, Tyler, if you're still here, I appreciate you checking out the stream. I apologize, like I said, guys, in the beginning, I try to make sure that everybody knows that during the podcast, I won't be, addressing many comments, but towards the end or the end of the podcast, I will. As well as Jug, was able to read your comment. Yes, that's something that we actually began to talk about as well. We talked about it a little bit off stream as well. But, what we're going to try to do is, whenever it comes to Nick's side, we're going to try to stream on both Twitch and YouTube. Hopefully everything goes through properly. Like we said, we're going to have one of his monitors for Twitch and one of them for YouTube. If that does end up going that route, That being said, guys, if there's any more questions, please make sure to let me know. As well as, if that's not it, I'm probably going to head over here shortly because I have quite a few things to do in the morning. And I also have to find my phone, so that's a good time. So, guys, I'm going to give you guys a few more moments to think of anything that you might have for questions, and then after that, we're going to wrap everything up. Okay, well, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast as well as